This here is Embrace Eternity.
Hot Nuggety Dog.
I'm Cass.
I'm Becca.
Tell us what this show is about, Becca.
It's about video games.
Hi, Becca. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Great. That is great to hear. That's wonderful. What have you been thinking about lately? You know, like something that you would be making a podcast about. What's the general topic?
Wait, what are we setting up for? I'm confused.
I'm trying to get you to intro what the episode's about.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a dingus.
It's okay. Hold on. I'll set it up again.
Okay, thank you.
You know, Becca, I don't know. What should we talk about today?
Cass, I don't know. I was thinking maybe we could talk about our favorite video game characters, like our top 3.
Oh, well, you know, I've never played a video game before, so that's going to be really difficult, but I'll do a quick Google search and I think I can come up with something, but you know, why don't we get right into it? You start off since I'll be Googling here.
Okay. I feel like you're making fun of the fact that I had to Google all of the stuff on Ghost Emoji.
No, I'm not. No, okay. I'm not. I don't even remember that. I listen, but I don't tend to remember things as much.
Okay, good. All right, well, my favorite video game character, one of them, is, I'm going to start off with Garrus. I love Garrus from Mass Effect, the Mass Effect trilogy.
And who is Garrus? Who is this Garrus you speak of?
He's an all-around Turian bad boy.
Oh, wow. That sounds really appealing.
He's an alien sniper. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's pretty cool.
No. What does he look like?
He looks like a cross between a cat and a cricket, but
really?
big. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm into it.
That's great. So what do you like about this Garrus?
Pretty much all the stuff.
Oh, I see.
I'm just kidding. I think the things I like about Garrus are that he starts off as sort of this hot-headed, like, kind of racist, because he, you know, like, xenophobic, I guess, child, and morphs into a, like, responsible, thoughtful person who is amazing and grows a lot. And I don't know, I just love him, and I think he's very compelling. And, you know, I think the most interesting characters are ones that have significant failures, because it shows you, like, the way they can pick themselves back up. And, you know, I like that he's, even in, like, his, I guess, weaker moment where he's feeling really weak and he's feeling really vulnerable, like, he's willing to accept help and to be thoughtful. And I don't know, I just love him, and he's a good boy.
Okay, well, all jokes aside, I too love Garrus. He didn't make my list, but Becca just gave some, I agree with everything you said. I liked Garrus primarily because he's a really great voice. I know that's very shallow, but
that too.
He does, like, in every video game that voice actor's in, he's just really good, and he gives great performances. And I mean, for me, the only reason I started playing the games is because of Garrus, because I had heard about him and I was intrigued. And so my first playthrough ever, I did not romance anyone in 1 because I knew in 2 that there was Garrus, and I knew that I could, and I could romance someone in 1, but I was like, but I met, you know, Liara and Kaidan, and I was like, no bueno at first with Liara. Definitely no bueno with Kaidan. It just wasn't my deal. And yeah, so, I mean, for me, he's like the whole reason I started playing, because I knew that he existed. So I mean, that just kind of says how I feel about it. I don't have much to add other than he's just, he's very sweet. And all the things you said, I'll let you go back to it. Anything else you want to add about him? Because I know he's your favorite in the whole world.
Yep, he's my number one. I guess I should have built up to him, but I was too excited and I wanted to talk about him.
It's okay because mine starts at number one too.
Okay, good.
So
Perfect.
who cares? It kind of does go in order of favorite to kind of least favorite. Mm-hmm. I don't know, just how it was. Maybe because you have more to say about the first one. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the things that. Okay, so I love Garrus, and I've read a lot of fan fiction between about his relationship and Shepard's. Yeah, okay, well, you know where I'm going with this, because I complain about it all the time, but my least favorite thing is, this is my Grandma Becca standing on, my lawn and being like, you damn kids. It's
Get out of here with your balloon dicks.
Yep, it's that, and I hate when, there's this trend with male characters where even if they don't have any of these traits in whatever media they're in, Garrus is never shown as being jealous or possessive or aggressive, really.
That my general thought, it kind of goes with aggressive, but because you're his partner, he doesn't ever really try to protect you. Even in the Citadel DLC, I mean, everybody's love interest is going to be on the comm with them, right? Mm-hmm. But it's never he realizes that she's probably better than him. And while my issue has always been that kind of Annie. By the way, I found out that Annie Oakley thing. I mean, not that I thought it was true, but I listened to a podcast about her, and it turns out that Annie Get Your Gun is 100% not based in reality because they were already married by the time they went on that tour. Anyway, that's another point. If you gave a shit about musicals, now you know. But my point is that I like that he doesn't have to display that kind of toxic masculinity. In fact, I can't really think of, I mean, you've played more than I have, but I can't think of any instance where he displays that, which I think is maybe what you like about him and a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Not to say that he's not masculine, I don't know, whatever you define that as, but he doesn't ever display it in such a manner. He doesn't have that toxic masculinity. I don't know how to better explain it than that, but I was just thinking that, because you're that partner, he doesn't ever make it be oh, Shep. And maybe that's because the lines are mostly the same, and because of the fact that, according to some people, a lot of people, Shep is male. Maybe that has something to do with it too. It would be inconvenient to be oh, Shepard can't handle it. She's just a little girl, But that is something unique about this series that maybe had an impact on it. But it definitely, I think, in my mind, makes their relationship a lot better because you don't ever feel that disparity of people being oh, she can't handle herself, and especially Garrus. He realizes she can't handle herself, and he gives you respect. And I think that's very attractive. So anybody who gives you respect.
And he looks up to you in certain, in a lot of ways. And the other thing is how he treats the rest of the team. There's never, he's never, cruel. And, a lot of the characters will, slut shame Miranda or say things that are just really not cool. And
I can't remember much about him and Miranda's relationship, but I don't think he ever said anything, maybe something comedic, but nothing at the expense of the way she dresses or her body or anything. Maybe that she might have had a line where he said she has some better attitude, but I don't know, I can't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But, when Miranda dies, if she dies, I think I talked to him after that in my playthrough. I'd have to check, but I think he does say something oh, she could be cold, but, she was a part of our team or something like that. But so even then, it's not he's saying anything terrible about her. Tally. Tally calls her the B-word, I think.
Yeah, she does. She calls her the B-word.
Dies. And I'm Tally?
Oh my God.
I know. So I hated that. That was something that bothered me so much about Tally's characterization that, she would say that, but she's getting drunk and she's obviously grieving. Like, I probably talked about this in my playthrough when I was going through that moment, because I was in shock and I was like, Tally, I need you to have more sympathy, because like Miranda's dead.
Yeah. She's a person.
She's
we
my
worked with
friend.
her.
She was like me. I was also like a little colder. I don't know, whatever that means. So yeah, he's great for not doing that. And then, yeah.
Yeah, but in fan fiction, a lot of the time they saddle him with those traits, like being aggressive and jealous and possessive. And it's gross, and I hate it. And like, the worst is when you get like 14 chapters in and he and Shepard, I guess, like have sex, and that's when it starts. And then you're like, I have wasted so much time, and you did this to him. You did this to my sweet baby. I mean, I know it's free and I know I shouldn't complain, but it still irritates me because it perpetuates toxic masculinity and it perpetuates like an unhealthy relationship, and I don't like it.
I hate, because I'm such a fan of the romance genre, less so lately because of just being tired of that, and that there's very little other than, hetero relationships in there. But as somebody who's read so many romance novels, I just have to blame the originators of the genre and TV and movies and 50 Shades of Grey. And I could blame, I don't know where it started, probably in a cave somewhere when somebody was making like grunts as some form of display of some sort of like caveman play. And I don't know, it started somewhere, I don't know where, but I feel bad for like the people, maybe younger people who are writing these things, or older people, that's like what's in their head. They probably don't mean to do that, but that's just what's there. And it's unfortunate because obviously that continues on, and then people get in relationships with people who feel like they have to treat you that way, or they're just going to treat you that way because they're crapheads. I don't know. But
or it's romanticized and seen as sexy, which I think is really sad, because it's like, if you're jealous all the time on your partner, or your partner's jealous all the time, like, that's exhausting. Like, you should be able to trust each other, and you should be each other's like best friend. You shouldn't be constantly trying to, I don't know, possess one another or control one another. And it's just gross.
Yeah, sadly, it's like, as long as people are finding that attractive, which I admit at times I have in my life, it's like, I don't know how to, I mean, maybe you just get sick at some point of that, or you see so much like what results of this sort of male behavior in some people, in some men that behave this way. You like see, like, I watch so many crime shows, and most of them are like men murdering their girlfriends because they got pregnant, or because they didn't want to be with them, and like that's about 9 out of 10 of the things I see. And that's kind of the result of this being so casually taken, and so the norm, So anyway, Garrus is not going to murder us, and that's great.
Yep. I mean, I know that the reason I'm so like sensitive about it is because I've had a possessive boyfriend in the past, and he used to like, this was in high school, and he would have people listen to conversations I was having with my friends and report back to him. And he would flirt with other girls to have them spy on me, and like just all sorts of creepy stuff. Like, he had one girl, he tried to get her to befriend me, so if I had anything to say about him, she could tell him. And he used to buy me stuff and then force me to like drink it. It was just really fucked up, and that's just on the lighter end.
I hope he's somewhere where he has no contact with women or any nice men.
He's married, I think. I don't know, but either way, he was just very manipulative.
I hope he's had lots of therapy, and that his wife is a really dominant person who, I don't know, controls that relationship, because I don't know how you could be married to someone like that. I'm sorry. That's upsetting.
So I have very like intense feelings about, and that's on the lighter, like the more mild side of having a possessive, jealous boyfriend. I mean, he never hit me, and he abused me like
if he
mentally.
Did, I'd come after him even to this day. You.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. I don't think that jealousy and possessiveness and stuff like that is romantic at all. I just see it as
cute.
Like
it's not cute.
It's not cute.
Not cute.
Anyways.
And it's something that, like, not to be, like, pumping up here, my orientation, but, like, I don't know of many cases of that from women to women. So I'm just saying there are some perks. I'm sure it exists. It's
I'm
not
sure it
like
does, but
I'm sure it exists. The abusive girl, I know it exists, but you don't hear it as much. And I'm just saying, is that some sort of sexist comment? I don't know. You tell me. Tweet us at Embrace Eternity.
tell us your opinion. Anyways,
Look away.
what's your top baby?
My top baby, no surprise, is also a BioWare character, but the other ones are wait, are they not? No, the other ones are not. So that's good. It's Miss Liliana, the Nightingale herself.
Oh,
I know. What do you expect? I love her so much. Liliana, in, just kind of like a summary of why I like her so much, is that she's kind of contrary. And I always say that that's like a thread going through all the characters I love. But I think it's just that there's so many qualities to her that make her seem more real. Like, she's one of the more real characters to me. We meet her and she's, kind of loony and weird. In my head, I think of her as sort of like Luna Lovegood mixed with a nun in the first game. That's how I kind of see her, because there are times when she's portrayed in Origins like she likes shoes, ooh la la, and she sings, and there's definitely some manic pixie elements there that I kind of find through all of my favorites, and I kind of have to be like, but I don't want to put that stereotype on them, because she grows a lot. In fact, I think she grows more than anybody throughout the series, honestly, in my opinion, because we don't really encounter Alistair much. And Morgan, has Morgan changed?
no.
My dog,
Not really.
My dog's mad. She doesn't like Morgan. In the first game, we, learned about her and Marceline, and we do learn quite a bit about her background and kind of the abusive kind of relationship that they had. I hate that woman so much.
She's horrible.
Yeah, she's awful. And I kind of feel like that story is kind of on par with Alistair's a little bit. Not quite, but I loved that we got to learn about her in the first game to that extent, that she's kind of goofy and flirty, but like she could also kill you. Like, that's very appealing. And I always kind of find it interesting, her whole like prophecy thing, that at first she's kind of like a joke, but she's really capable and she really has your back. Whereas, Morgan's just like, she's there, and Alistair will always like be your like number one too. But
I really like Liliana as well. I feel like she goes through, like you said, a large like character growth and personal growth throughout the trilogy. Although we don't see her in the second one, but
we do in the DLC. If you
really,
the Sebastian DLC, I believe she will. I know this because there's like a glitch still to this day with that DLC where sometimes if she shows up, your game will like crash. So it's pretty sad, but I made it work. I forget. Yeah, definitely she's in that one, so she can come in for a minute. And I think there's also there's some weird option I can't remember, but yeah, you can definitely see her. But she's not like in the game if you don't have DLC, and she doesn't play a big part anyway. But yeah, go ahead. Not the point, but
but I appreciated that, like, in the ways that she started off so sort of soft and I know that she was a trained killer, but she still had a lot of like sweetness and sort of I don't know what the word would be, like, just she wasn't naive necessarily, just like very kind. And I appreciated that, like, because of basically what happened and experiencing like loss and things like that, it made her a little harder and a little like sharper, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My thing was that I was thinking that she's very capable of brutality, but she's also incredibly kind.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to remember the instance of this, but like there's something that I think it's if you side with the mages and you Like, I mean, she will freaking, like, it doesn't matter theoretically if she believes you. Remember when she has like Illyrium poisoning or whatever, and she like dies for you? Like, I think that was for, even in her form, that was just, if anything, solidified my love for her even more, because she just has so much like faith. And throughout the game, like, even though I'm not someone who has like any faith in sort of like a divine being, she questions it all the time, which I really love, because it's kind of hard to relate to characters who don't waver or like doubt. That just doesn't seem realistic. And that she just, I guess the thing I love most about her, I always see people complain that she's mean and stuff, but like, it really depends on your choices too. Like, she has friends, you're her friend, supposing you are, and you're like, hey, maybe we should not do this because we don't need to. And you kind of have to be her friend back. And that's what I enjoy so much about her. So you just have so much, like, you are so capable of helping her either become the best person she can be, you know, or the best version of herself, as corny as it sounds, or you can make her the worst. And she just, you know, she's open, and I don't know. And she likes birds, and she's really pretty. That's also a factor.
She is very beautiful.
She is. Another common factor in between the characters I love is they all seem kind of relating to that being unsure. They all seem kind of like lost, but like open about that being unsure and lost, which is really appealing. And it makes her really human to me.
Garrus shares that too, because you can tell he's like doubting he's doubting sort of the way that things are done, and then he's doubting himself for wanting to rebel against those things. And it's just an interesting place where he's like, maybe it's not like so black and white, maybe things are more gray, and he doesn't understand how to deal with it. But it's compelling because you're watching them try to puzzle it out for themselves.
And you can, like, you know, help them with that,
Yeah.
which makes you feel engaged in a way like maybe you don't have as much, if you're not like romancing Morgan, you don't have as much to be like, hey, simmer down, love ya, but simmer down. And
You can chill.
it's weird, but like, to me, she reminds me of a George R.R. Martin light character. I mean, not quite as intense. They couldn't get away with such things, but like, and maybe that means like a good character. Now I'm talking book character here, but I don't know. I love her so much. And I love that, you know, the warden can, you know, still be with her. I love that she can turn into a Lyrium ghost. That is pretty great.
Pretty cool.
I love ghosts, so I don't hold that one canon, and I feel like I hope that she's gonna stay around. I'm sad that we probably will never see Garrus again, but I'm still hoping that there's a chance for Lily to come back. Oh, and she loves nugs, and that might seem like a small thing, but I really love nugs a lot too, and we would have a nug family, and that's all I have to say. It would be wonderful. She's kind of dangerous. I mean, what can I say? She's my type. She's my type, and I kind of wish that romance had maybe been saved for a later game. As weird as that sounds, like if in Inquisition she'd been a romance option, only because the romances got so much better, you know? I kind of wish she had been saved because her romance wasn't as good as it could have been in Inquisition. And before I knew that she was a romance option, because I played Inquisition first, I stupidly was like, hey, why is Leon a romance option in these games? And then people are like, she is. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I wanted this one because this one's a little tougher. I don't know. I like her in all forms. I'll take her, whatever. But yeah, I love her. I love her forever. Forever. There you go. Okay, Becca, who's your next favorite character in the video games?
I have one more BioWare character, and then after this, I'm done with BioWare characters.
Okay,
but,
I believe you.
Okay.
I don't.
I don't play like that many video games where I'm like, oh, I really love this character. I'm normally like, I like the whole cast.
Okay.
But my second is Shepard, FemShep. I
Oh
love
yeah.
her so much. Like, I love that
Even Renegade, like both Paragon and Renegade.
Yeah,
And Paragade, you love them all.
I love them all because the thing is, like, as much
What
as you
about
can
the one
sort of,
who, like, can't you, like, kill, you can't kill, who else can you kill? You can't kill Garrus. No, he can die. right? Do you love that Shepard who kills Garrus or lets him die? Do you?
Well, that's not Shepard's fault. That's whoever's playing's fault.
Okay.
I
Fine. But
don't-
you're technically Shepard. Go on. I'm just saying.
Well, that's
a broad
Shepard being
statement.
like irresponsible, because it's not necessarily that you like take a gun out and shoot him. It's that I didn't do all the things I needed to do, and so now all of my crew is dead. Whoops.
I want to do one of those runs, not to interrupt, but I do because I just want to be so sad and alone. Who can be like, not to, I'm derailing here, I know, but like, who is your minimum crew? Like, how many can you have left at the end? I forget of 2, you know, when you go into 3. Can like most of them die? Mm-hmm. Like, how many could be left? What if you only had 2 left?
That'd be rough.
Oh, God. I'm curious about
During
that,
your
but-
dreams, you'd be hearing a lot of real sad voices.
Oh, my God. It would be so bad. All right, go ahead. Back to your topic.
Anyways, I like that even if she is Renegade, Paragade, or Paragon, like, I know that you can sort of, you know, expand on her background, and there are little, like, minor tweaks to her personality, but, like, Shepard at her core has a personality, and I like that. And I feel like her personality gets changed in the same ways that it would happen to a normal person who has, you know, you're born and like say there's 3 different paths you can take, even though there's like an infinite amount, and like something happens to you on one path and something different happens to you on this path, and you're raised by someone else on this path, and so it's still you at your core, but it changes your morals and it changes like the way you see the world. And I like that it feels that way with Shepard. Like the decisions that you make change things a little bit, but at her core it's still like Shepard. And I just think she's strong and beautiful and perfect, and I love her. And Jennifer Hale is so talented. I love hearing her voice. It's so good.
I think it's in 3 why, even though the ending a lot of people don't like, but like what makes that so good and the trilogy so good is what you said, because she gets like worn down, and that they definitely amp up the emotions, and that's the kind of benefit of having the same character versus Dragon Age that we always talk about, that we kind of get to see that transition and that change, that some things are dependent on you, but at the end Shepard is always going to be, you know, sort of like, oh my God, this is so hard and I'm so tired and I'm done with you and just sad. And I love Jennifer Hale too. And yeah, do you have a favorite then though? Like, do you prefer doing Paragade, whatever you want, or do you like a Renegade or a pure Paragon?
I tend to lean more towards Paragade because there are some times where I want to like be a little tougher.
Throw them out windows.
Yeah.
Throw them.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't ever like to be mean to the reporter because she's got her own issues. But
Yeah.
like
I love doing that
like,
though. I love it.
love punching her.
Yeah, I do it.
I know a lot of people do, but I love throwing that one guy out that window.
Yeah,
That's really
it's good.
satisfying.
It's good stuff.
That's a good one. There are a couple of other instances, but I just love Shepard, and I love that she loves her friends, and she's like silly, and I know that they basically just kept a lot of the same lines for the dudes, and so that's part of why her character feels, because I feel like if they wrote FemShep or Shepard as a woman more so, it would be much different, and that pisses me off because I feel like it's, well, maybe they wouldn't have. I don't know. But I feel like it's a misunderstanding of, like, it's that whole, like, men and women are so different. And it's, like, not really. I mean, there are people who are non-binary and non-gender conforming. And there are people who are men but have more feminine traits. And women who have more masculine traits. And it's just, it's such a, like, I don't know, grab bag that it doesn't really make sense why female characters get written that way, but I just really enjoy that she's allowed to be like a little goofy but feminine but tough, and she's great. She's just all around a really good character. I mean, I feel bad because Shepard isn't as compelling to me as a man, but
you know, yeah, I couldn't get through that either, but that's, I think, it's hard to top Jen Hale. And as you were saying that, I had to bite my tongue because I'm not finished with it yet, but I know you have. I've been watching Glow. I think I've only watched a couple episodes, but what you said reminded me of the first episode where I think, I don't remember her real name, but the one Homewrecker, when she
Alison
goes in,
Brie's character?
when she goes into audition and she on purpose reads the male's part, and then, later on she'll have a discussion like, you did that on purpose, didn't you? And she's like, yeah, because the male's part is always better, She was like the secretary who said one line. So that kind of reminded me of it, and is something that is unique and that maybe has even made BioWare maybe push further in that direction of understanding, because they've made it an option and they've been lazy enough. Like, I remember when Andromeda came out, they were like, oh, the lines are going to be different for male and female. But I really haven't seen like any instances where it's different when you're cis rider or bro rider or whatever. I haven't. So like, I think they have a pretty unique system in that they're writing for people and not by gender,
Genders.
unless it's a certain circumstance where that's, relevant, which is pretty rare. So I don't know. That's something that I think has drawn a lot of people to BioWare because, and that's why I hope that in the next Dragon Age or whatever games they come out with, there is non-binary options. I think that would be great. Don't think it would be that hard at all. Man. Nope. It'd be okay. Be great. Yeah, FemShep. It's kind of funny. When I first opened the game, I was not used to that kind of power behind her voice, because I kind of maybe more associate myself, and I try to like get into that, get into the, what's the proper word? Get into the person's place to kind of try to, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Get in their head?
Trying to get in their head and play this character and immerse myself. That's the word I was looking for in the situation, to connect to the situation when I'm making those decisions. And I couldn't see myself in this character who was like strong and like had a powerful presence and voice. Like the voice, like she didn't sound like maybe a little, she didn't sound like me. Let me put it that way, which I think something a lot of people like, it's a big problem when people are watching stories or they don't want to watch a story because they have trouble relating. And that's something that like took me like a couple hours to like kind of understand that, everyone has a little bit of FemShep in them, and I might not, feel as strong or be as strong or like command that sort of presence. But I think FemShep definitely made me feel like a stronger person having played her.
I agree.
I'm going to cry a little.
I love her so much.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think she's, how sometimes female characters are written and you can tell it's by a man who doesn't understand like what a power fantasy is for a woman. Mm-hmm. And I feel like FemShep, for me at least, was a power fantasy because it was basically like she's respected, she's confident, she can get shit done. She's fucked up in the past, but it doesn't change the fact that she's still trying to do her best. Like, I don't know. She's just what I want to be and what I like. And I don't know. She's just great. I love her.
She's wonderful. There's not a shep I've made, the FemShep I've made that, I didn't like even when I was playing Renegade. And there were times that like, it was hard. It was hard to be a Renegade. But there's still, even when you're the deepest, darkest version of Shep, there's still a lot of good in her and a lot of things to love. And I think, in fact, playing as those darker options and having to kind of like understand why people were doing that. Like the times that I've in games chosen like to enslave the mages, and that is nothing I would ever do. And it was so hard to do. And it was sad and I hated it, but I kind of had to look at things from a different way. And we've talked about that before, but FemShep got a lot of those moments. And I'm just proud of her. And I'm sad she's gone, but she lives on forever and her little heart's thumping. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine.
She's breathing. She's good. Anyways, what's your next?
My next one is, I'm trying to remember what if she ever goes by that. Elizabeth Comstock, though I don't tend to use her name. Elizabeth from BioShock, you might know her as. It's kind of weird because I have so many characters that I really love, but thinking of the reasons why I connect to them or love them is kind of mysterious. if I really try to think about it, I was able to come up with some, but if they're not terribly coherent, I'm going to cut this, but it's okay. Elizabeth is kind of like easy to dismiss off as this girl in a cage, imprisoned there because she's oh so special. I'm pretty sure there's a trope that better summarizes, like the chosen one, whatever. She kind of embodies that trope and is also, like Rapunzel, locked away in a tower, protected by a songbird. Yeah, that sounds really dumb, but I'm going to say it. She's really free-spirited, like in the beginning of the game, she goes off dancing and runs away from you, and she's very childlike because she's, been held captive, and as far as I know in her life has never had a friend other than Songbird, which is P.S. a little sad and weird, but I kind of like Songbird. But there's this quote that kind of, to me, summarized it. Yes, I'm quoting, but it's by the dearly loved Frank McCourt, and he says, "It's lovely to know that the world can't interfere with the inside of your head." I always say it wrong, but like she kind of embodies that because she goes through so much complete shit in that game, and she has to do some really dark stuff. And it kind of pisses me off a little bit of those things that go on, like she's being protected so much, but she's really strong and she's got some freaking cool powers, which seems like a weird reason to love her. And she goes through so much shit in that game. It's hard to explain unless you've played it, which I hope you have. You've played it, right?
I've watched Ryan play it.
And do you remember Elizabeth?
Yeah.
What do you remember about her? That she's got cool hair?
I mean, it's hard because the problem with when I watch Ryan play a video game is that I fall asleep a lot of the time because I get comfy. But I remember really liking her and not really being that big of a fan of the character that you're playing as.
Oh yeah, well that's good. That's good because spoiler alert, he's not great. He's not great.
Isn't he her shitty dad that gave her away?
Yeah, and he's also the racist guy who invented Columbia.
Yeah,
in a different world.
Yeah.
That's not great, but that kind of, I guess, ties into this. She's, obviously like abused and controlled heavily in her life, but she has this power that allows her to kind of see what's beyond, and that kind of gives her this hope that even though like she's locked up, and she never really loses that kind of desire to learn and leave. And she's also a bookworm, which like if you live in a tower, that's like okay. I don't know, I just kind of related to her as someone who has mild agoraphobia. I was like, this is kind of relatable in a weird way, even though it's not by her choice. I actually think that Elizabeth is an extrovert who's kind of living the introverted lifestyle, which is a kind of interesting thing to explore as somebody who really likes people and likes talking, trying to cope with the fact that that's not really been a possibility in their life. And she takes a really, pretty dark path. She finds out stuff through that game. And so in the subsequent DLC, stuff is pretty dark. But maybe it's because I played that DLC. I don't know if I think you watched me play it, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I did.
She's she has I'm sad to say it, but a lot in common with Liliana. She has to do some dark shit and, but she doesn't seem to like take much shit like throughout the game, even though she's being, run around. Like she does run off, though, which is a little bit goofy. It's like trying to rein in a toddler, but I still like her so much. And when I say all these things, it sounds kind of stupid, but I don't know. I feel bad you haven't played it because then I could talk with you about it. But and she also sings. That's another weird thing they have in common. I don't know what any of these things mean. She probably sings better than Liliana.
Liliana's songs, Jesus.
Yeah, those are not good, actually. And she has a really good heart, and, but I kind of like her because she gets to do some dark shit, and, I don't know the reasons. It was kind of hard to put words to it, but I think people who have played the game, I don't know. I hope the next BioShock game has a female protagonist so I can just kind of like have more to say, because we didn't get that much time with her, and yet she's still my favorite. Okay, she's one of my favorites, and it seems pretty pathetic now, but
No, it's not.
I don't know if you know anything about the third one either. This could be fun. It's okay. I'll edit it. It'll look good. It'll look fine.
Sorry.
It's okay. I should have picked all BioWare characters and we could at least talk about it.
No, I mean, I should play it. I just haven't.
I know. It's okay. It's really not that long. I played that thing, I think, in like a day or two.
Oh, maybe I'll do that because I think Ryan has it.
And that's if you're not like doing everything. But
Oh, yeah, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably
Yeah.
just try
You
to
just
get
skim
through the
through it.
plot.
yeah. Okay, well, all right. Now that the riveting explanation has been explained. Sorry, I mean, you could go next. I feel like every time I
Okay.
say next, I'm like, I don't want to have to edit it out, so I'm just trying to be like, okay, well,
Sorry. Okay.
I don't know how people transition. I don't know.
I don't either. Okay, so my third and final character is Clementine from The Walking Dead.
You know, I know all of yours, so I have things to say. God, we should have coordinated.
okay.
Coordinated.
It's okay. I loved her relationship with Lee in the first Walking Dead game, and she's so cute, and she's so like little, and I don't know, I just, it's like you get really attached to her as like, this is my child in the first one, and then the second one, you know, she's having to go through all these difficult things, and she's growing up on the road basically like on her own, and tragedy just sort of follows her because, I mean, one, the world is horrible, and two, like, just bad luck, I feel like. And just, it makes me sad seeing her have to become, like, harder and not really have a childhood, but at the same time, she's just, I don't know, I care very deeply for her, and I wish that they had maybe with the third one fast forwarded a little further into her timeline.
Just so you know, I haven't finished that. So
I haven't either. I
Okay,
haven't
good.
either.
Because I'm like, please don't tell me anything I don't know. God, that was dark.
No.
But
Yeah.
sorry I interrupted.
No, you're fine. But I just wish they had fast forwarded a little further for season 3. I wish they had done,
like when she was
a little
like,
older.
you know, almost an adult, or I think she's like 13 or 14 in the. But I really like seeing. I mean, it's kind of it's about Clementine, but I like seeing how the actor who voices her like escalates, you know, the voice, matures it, which I think it's such an interesting thing. It kind of reminds me of like Rugrats in a weird way. It sounded like when they would do stuff, or I guess technically the Simpsons characters do it all the time. It reminds me of that, which I find really funny. Just like subtle changes. I like it.
All grown up.
It's talent. Like it's real nasally. I don't know. That's not nasally. That's the opposite of nasally. Whatever. It's okay. Yeah, Clem is the best. Clem, you know, even as I think I started playing the first series that came out forever ago, so I was still probably in my teens, maybe not, I don't know. So like I wasn't like a kid or anything, thank God. I don't think children should play that game. But I related to her and being that kind of kid who like had to get into mature situations and grow up fast and kind of, I don't know, I didn't have Lee. I wish I'd had Lee. You know, I think Lee was an awesome character, and just I'm always sad about Lee, but I love how they've included that in her story still, that, you know, Lee was someone that, you know, she didn't necessarily need him, but he did, you know, show her that she was a capable young girl. I guess that would be the proper term. Yeah, it's kind of like the thing that when I used to watch The Walking Dead that they would talk about with Carl, is that, you know, like she's this little kid who curses, you know. I don't remember if Carl curses much, but it's sort of just like seeing that sort of place that anybody who survives has to be. And she's really cool. So stuff happens in last season, and I was sad that she wasn't the focus. That was like, nah, man,
Yeah,
nah,
I was not happy about that either.
Don't like it one bit. And I don't even think there was any like hint at some sort of because I remember before I played it, somebody had been like, look, all these plaid-shirted video game characters are all, like lesbians or bisexual, and I was like, what are you talking about? Is there confirmation? I don't think there was. It was all a lie, okay? Just assumptions, which is sad. But I don't know, what was I saying? I was saying something. It was okay. But Clem, it's kind of weird because, you can play it different with her. So, but she's, oh God, I'm thinking of that scene where she has to, stitch her arm up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of times when you when you feel so bad for her, that poor little girl, but you get to see her grow up. So again, you see that growth and I know why she's on your list. She was almost on mine, but you told me who was on yours. And I was like, well, okay, then I guess not. I guess not.
I just love her. 'Cause I mean, the fact that she reminds me of, there's this, like one of my favorite Stephen King novels from when I was growing up was The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and it's about this little girl who gets lost on a hiking trail. She gets separated from her mom and her brother who are fighting, and she's got like the dirtiest mouth, and she gets separated, and she's like 8, and she like drinks bad water and hallucinates, and then there's sort of this like, I don't remember, god of the forest that's like hunting her basically, and she's trying to not die, and she's trying to ration her food. And I remember just being so impressed with her because she was funny and she was kind of mean, and she was just fending for herself out in the wilderness. And I was like, I want to be that strong. I want to be able to, that's so impressive. And Clem reminds me a lot of Trish from that book, which I haven't read it in forever, but like,
I know. I keep trying to find a copy. I keep trying to, but like I try to listen to the audiobook. There's no audiobook. Or maybe there is and it sounds really bad. But I'm going to read it. I'm going to. Probably maybe like Halloween-y time, for that kind of eerie vibe, But I can see that. Spooky. Even though I have not read it yet, I can definitely see that. And yeah, that probably is why you like Clem. Or maybe just like anybody who theoretically shouldn't be able to take care of themselves as well as they seem to. Maybe better than you can as an adult.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, God.
Yep.
Oh, that's sad.
But who's your third?
My third, okay. I don't think she has a last name, but if she does, I don't know about it, so it's okay. I was kind of torn because honestly, I almost chose Lara Croft, but the reason I didn't is because I think reasoning that the only reasons I love her so much is because she can jump so high that it shouldn't make sense and she should be dead. Now that's a reason. That's not a good reason. That's a good reason, but
it's legit.
It's legit, but it's not enough for me to talk about for about 5 minutes. Or however long this lasts. So I decided to go with one that made more sense and was kind of important to me and I've talked to before. So I went with Fiona from Tales from the Borderlands. She does not jump as high, but she does do some cool stuff and she has a little gun and that's great. She wears a great hat. If you don't know who she is, she's one of the 2 protagonists of Tales from the Borderlands, which is the Telltale series that is based upon the world of Borderlands from, what are they called? Gearbox or something. Yeah, and if you've listened to us before, she's voiced by Laura Bailey. This is shocking. Anyone who's watched anything by me knows I say her name like a million times, but it's true. And that was how I first really became aware of who that voice actor was, and everything went downhill from there. But actually quite good because I'm like one of her biggest fans. I'm sorry, but Yeah, so a big reason is that she made me realize that I was probably gay. I don't know why I'm whispering it so much. I'm just kind of scared to say it out loud. I think I've said it before. I don't know why I was talking like that. Is that okay?
You've definitely said it before.
Okay.
On the thing.
It's the hat, it's the outfit, it's her attitude, but moreover, something I realized that like was kind of crazy to realize is there are so many lovable asshole characters, like so many, but they're all men, like 100%. I really can't think of any other instance, at least in my media experience, of a person who identifies as a woman being a lovable asshole. I just can't.
Oh my God, you're right.
Like,
Oh,
okay.
that makes me so mad.
It does. Because the thing is, I wouldn't classify Morrigan as one. Because
No.
I don't think of her as an asshole. Like, I think she can be dark and superior, but I just wouldn't call her an asshole. It's not a word I affiliate. But anybody who's played this Telltale game knows that she is very much an asshole, but she is incredibly lovable. You have a lot of female characters who are assholes because they do bad things, or they're like doing evil shit and like murdering people, or they're bad for no reason, you know, the same as you have for male. But there's just not a lot of instances where, even though people are being inconsiderate and dicky, or dicky is that a word, that they're also very lovable because they're cute and funny and like have sheepish smiles and are, you know, charming. You know, I think that's maybe what a lovable asshole is. It's an asshole who's also charming. So that's just what she is. And I'm here for the ability for a woman to be allowed to be an asshole and for it to be, I don't know if it's somewhat realistic because I really haven't met that many lovable assholes. I think there's just assholes and then there's people who can be assholes but are always lovable, you know? So I don't know if those people exist.
I feel like Toph from Avatar might be.
You know,
categorized
as
as
someone
one.
who has not watched enough Avatar, I can't tell you. But is that the one with the dark hair? I mean,
She
a
has
lot
it
have
all.
dark hair,
She's blind and she always has her hair up kind of in a bun.
Oh,
She's
okay.
real little.
Maybe. Is she kind of like almost cliche in that?
I don't think so.
I think I remember her.
just-
Wasn't she in partially in what do you call it? Korra? Was she
Yeah.
ever? Okay. Then I
She was
remember
old.
her. Yeah, and when Korra goes off at like the beginning of whatever.
Yeah, when she has her Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, and Yoda.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, so the right for a woman to be as kind or as cruel as they want to be, and she's funny. She's really funny. She's exceptionally funny. It's not really explicitly stated, but the way I played it was because you switch between Fiona and Reese, who is the other character, the male protagonist. And even though I do not ship them, when I was playing Reese, I would always, you know, like flirt back in her direction. And at the end, I chose the option to kind of say, oh, you know, by the way, I do have feelings for you. And her face was pretty funny because Athena is a character from Borderlands. I don't know if you know her, but she has like a shield. She's kind of gladiator-y. And she has like a hood sometimes. And she's really cool. And she's introduced probably, I don't know, maybe in the second episode. And Fiona really is impressed by her because she's really cool and she's also a lesbian. And I tried so hard to play it as her being interested in Athena, but I forgot that Athena had a girlfriend. So that was really sad. That was a sad journey, but I totally feel like she was into Athena. That's all I'm going to say. There's some lesbian hints there that, on one hand, I have the chance for Reese to pursue her only because I'm Reese. But on the other hand, you know, I don't know if they ever make another. That's kind of a sad note. So I'm sort of in that Garrus train. I've only got to see her once. But if I had to describe her, you know, like I said, she's a lovable asshole. She's funny. She has a sister who she's very protective of. I don't know. She's really great. I mean, do you have any experience with Fiona?
No, I don't have any. I keep wanting to play the Borderlands stuff. Ryan was telling me, he was like, you should probably play it. I bet you'd like it. And I was like, yeah,
It's really good. It's it's not terribly long, but it's great, and I love it because it's the Telltale signature style. But that's what really, because Borderlands, the games were also like that, so there wasn't too much change in the style. It's just great. It's really funny. They play a lot of it's one of when action comedy movies where they play really bad 80s music when everything's going to shit. It's sort of like that, but every episode.
Oh man,
it's
that
really
sounds
funny.
great.
It is the funniest. It's probably the funniest Telltale game I've ever played. And probably one of the funnier games. It's just really funny. It's for a lot of laughs. Ashley Johnson from Critical Role also voices Gord, I think, or Gord. It's a little robot. And she has the perfect voice for a little robot. And then Chris Hardwick voices Reese's friend. I forget who voices Reese. But there's a great cast of characters, and I guess now I'm just promoting the.
That's fine.
I'm promoting the game. It
makes me want to play it because I didn't really know much about it, and I was like,
really
I don't
good.
know.
It's a good time. Okay. It's a good time to even watch somebody play it, as long as they're not, I don't know. It's just great. It's really funny. There's also the guy from Seinfeld who was Elaine's boss or baby boyfriend. I can never remember which. I think he was her boss. He has that really iconic voice, and he's been on a bunch of sitcoms. He voices one of the quote unquote bad guys. So there's, it's just good. It's a good, and I can't believe that they haven't followed it up because, I enjoyed some of the ones they still haven't made sequels to, like The Wolf Among Us, but this was really good. And I don't know what's the hold up. I don't know. Makes me
I loved Wolf Among Us. Did you ever read the comics?
No, I had some that I was gonna, and then no. Are they completely
it's really
different?
Long now.
Are they super different, the story, or is it completely one of those situations like iZombie where it's nothing? Because in iZombie the comic, there's vampires and shit, but in iZombie the show, it's a lot different. They just have the premise of being a zombie, and it's iZombie. Cool.
It's the same characters, they have the same, personalities and stuff like that. It's just they don't really go into that murder mystery type thing.
So it's
there is stuff like that, but that's not a plot that happens.
But what is it about then? What kind of vibe is it? It's not a solving crime thing, not like a Nancy Drew?
There are some arcs like that. I haven't read most of the more recent stuff, but the beginning parts are, a lot of it is about, man, I can't even remember. Jesus. It's just sort of everybody's sort of dissatisfied with how their happily ever after turned out, and because real life is harder than a fantasy, and they're living in the real world because I think wherever it is that they came from. It's been so long. I literally read it my second year of college, so that was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
I think it's definitely something that I would have enjoyed more in comic form. I all throughout it, I was like, Big B, you're the worst. And that at first, that was what was hard for me in playing it, because I don't know if he's more likable in the comics because you have more to go on. Is he a little less? Because everybody hates Big Me, number one. There were times when I was for the first time in my life, at least in this fully architected video game, where I was people were always saying, big bad wolf, you're doing the wrong thing over and over again. And I would be trying to be making the right choices. And I would still get told that I was the worst and I didn't care about anyone. And so then I was screw it, then I'll just murder. and then I was you know what? I relate to this because I never understood the people who were trying to have redemption arcs, Once Upon a Time, Regina. Sorry to reference that, but she would get frustrated because no one would believe that she was good, so she would just stop trying. But that was something I really experienced because I was so tired. I was you're gonna say that I don't care? Well, fine, I don't care. I'm just gonna kill Tweedledum or Tweedledee. I can't remember which. They both look hideous. I'm gonna do it.
They are hideous.
They're the worst. But yeah, I'm interested in the comics. I am. So maybe I'll have to pick up a volume of that. Not enough comics lately.
I think it switches whose perspective it's from, because I think they focus a lot on Snow White and her sister, and I don't know, it was good. I enjoyed it.
I don't think they had her sister in the...
No, they didn't.
I did not like Snow White in the game. I thought that she was very one-toned. I don't know. I guess maybe it was the way I played it. Like, I tried to give her respect and stuff, and I tried not to flirt, and I tried to be considerate, and I tried really hard, and she was still always giving me that look. And I was like, God damn it.
She does give that look all the time.
Stop it. God damn it. I don't remember her smiling much. Like, I was actually going against her at the end because I was over it. And you know who I liked? Depending on what you believe, she was either, her name starts with an F, right? She was either... Not Fiona. What's the girl's Faith? She was either Faith or Ariel, whatever Ariel's other name is. But either way, I liked that girl best. And I thought, I want to see that girl. Like, she was who I cared about, because I just was like, you're killing me, Snow. You're killing me. You're trying to reel in this heat and you can't. This Big B can't. It made me feel bad for him too, because I was like, if I was trying and then I had this around me, everybody telling me that like I was the worst. And I mean, that was a hard game to get through because literally even frogs smoke. And you're like, God, or Toad. Sorry, Toad. Even Toad smokes. Everybody's smoking. It's really gruff, but I still enjoyed it. But we weren't talking about that. That's okay though, because we never really talked about it much, did we? So now we have. Now we have. That happened. Okay.
Yep. We did it. And we're at an hour.
I
so.
snorted. That's good. Guys, we're on it. Jump on it. Not copyrighted.
Yeah.
So, in summary, mine were all ladies, and they were all ones that I found pretty attractive. That's it.
Two of them, I am attracted to, which are Garrison Shepherd, and the other one's my child.
Thank God. I mean,
yeah, no.
Yeah. That is like the one thing that I've seen a lot of people like sexualizing Clementine, and I was just like, God help me,
gross,
God
really?
help me, I will kill. Well,
She's a baby.
That is a problem in so many fandoms, though, that people don't understand that like shipping children together is pretty weird, especially if you're an adult.
Yuck.
It's just weird. Like, but that's a whole different episode, as I always say. So I guess I could do our plugs, and I had a good one, and now I just don't know. It's probably something we had talked about before, so maybe you'll plug it, and then I'll do my plug first because I remember, and I have told you about this one. It's called, I think, they might have the before it, but Generation Y, not the letter, but the word, I think. Mm-hmm. It's a podcast because I listen to a lot of podcasts, as we all know. And it's two guys, but that's okay. I don't know why I'm saying that's okay, but it is okay because they're really considerate people. And they talk about different issues, at least where I am, in the order of the episodes. They talk about different issues, a lot of them having to do with true crime. Shocking, because that's kind of like my thing. But they do talk about things are maybe not as murdery, and I think they're just really great. Like I listened to an episode. I think the first episode, one of them had jury duty in a murder case, and he kind of talked about that whole situation, which is really interesting. They did one on piracy that I've listened to, and of course they've done some on like darker murderers, and they're really thorough. And I just love stuff like that. They did another one. They did one on Amelia Earhart, who I have been interested in lately because of that documentary that really didn't tell any new information, it's like a series on History Channel. And they did really well. I kind of burped there. It's fine. I had coffee. It makes me burp. So yeah, the Generation Y podcast, there's a bunch of episodes. The sounds really bad, so I totally recommend going to like 2015 on, because older podcasts, how they sound, just because of it didn't sound good in the beginning of podcast land. People didn't have the good equipment, so especially if you have headphones, that's so challenging because you have that awful muffle in your ear. And so I'll do it when I'm doing stuff, and so yeah, skip a little bit, but it's really interesting, and I hadn't heard of it before, which is why I thought I would tell you about it, because I don't know if they're on the top of the charts, and It's really hard to find podcasts. We say it all the time, but the tag system is weird. So it's hard to find them, and I'm just finding this one now. So now you know. The more you know.
It's hard.
It is. We don't even show up when you search Mass Effect, and we had so many. That's why, hold on, let me say a moment. It's important you tell your friends and family about our podcast. Embrace Eternity. You can find us on iTunes, YouTube, and any other podcasting, hosting, player platform. I don't know Google? Are we on the Google?
I don't know. We're on Podbean.
Yeah, we're on Podbean. You can put our podcast name, Embrace Eternity, in the Google, and then put podcast after it. And then you will send that link to 20 of your friends and family, or a doll will come out from under your bed and tickle your feet.
Oh my God.
That will happen.
Oh, God. That's... I'm so afraid for you. Anyways, I have a plug. Wait, do I have two? I think I have two.
Okay.
One is, if you have a Bahama Bucks near you, it's a snow cone place. You should go and get half wedding cake and half red raspberry, and then have them put cream on it. And oh my God, it is so good. It is the best snow cone I've ever had in my whole life.
She has a picture of it on Instagram. You should go look at it.
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm just sitting here jealous because, like, I have, like, if you're like me and you live in the sticks, you have nothing nice. All you have is a little snow cone shack, and they have bubble gum, and that's it. And there's nothing fancy. We don't have a Rita's because that would be too nice. I used to love going to Rita's and getting those custard and cherry shaved ice, you know. It was sort of like those popsicles that are filled with cream, but really better. And then, you know, now I have nothing, so, like, I just have to shave ice for myself. I don't even know how to do it. So great, Becca. I'm sure all of us live where we have, what was that, Bahamas?
Bahama Bucks.
Bahama Bucks. God, she's the worst, isn't she? She's awful.
I'm sorry.
Dear listener.
I am.
She's awful. We have nothing.
The other thing I'm plugging. Wait, what?
I said it looked good. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
I was thinking.
It's fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It was more to myself, like a sad song.
So sad. The other plug is Ghost Emoji. It's a podcast that I'm in, and also my best friend Taylor is in, where we talk about spooky stuff.
It's really good. I'm not just saying that. I learned new things. I learned what ball lightning was. I had no idea. Apparently everyone else knew. I did not know. I Googled it. And much like Taylor, I knew how I wanted to die. It was really good. And I developed like a fear when I had, when my anxiety got really bad. It's weird because I grew up with so many hurricanes and so many storms, and lightning was hitting so many houses and literally like breaking the roofs and coming in and like destroying shit, but it never scared me. Even though my neighbors would get hit by lightning, it didn't faze me. But then, like, as an adult with anxiety, I would have a thunderstorm that would like make it really windy, and now I'm suddenly like huddled up in a corner with my cats. But weirdly, I'm not afraid of that. It's like, just take me, embrace me, ball lightning. So you can check out that episode on her podcast Ghost Emoji with her friend Taylor. As she said, it's really good. There's also the one on bridges, right?
Yeah, haunted bridges and streets.
I haven't been able to listen to the one on the movie because I haven't seen the movie. So what can you do? What can you do? Someday.
We just recorded one yesterday or the day before about like movies that we movies that we watched as kids that are horrifying, rewatching them now as adults. That was really fun to record, so I think that'll be a good one.
Sounds great. Wow, guys, you should go subscribe and tell 30 people you know, where two dolls will come out from under the bed and tickle both your feet.
Oh, it's so scary. I hate it. Oh, I'd just forgotten that like image, and then you
Whatever.
reminded me.
It's fine. We're okay. Those were great plugs. I just have to say they were good. No, really, it is good, and I'm so proud of Becca because she's been doing so many things, and we haven't really been able to like record because she's being awesome, and that's like I'm okay with that. I mean, I think everybody's okay with maybe not as many episodes if it means Becca can be more awesome and spread the awesome.
No, I'm gonna try and be better and be more like available and stuff.
It's fine.
Like a good
It's
girl.
fine. We're
Like a good
okay.
girl.
We'll survive. But yeah, and you have more episodes of your RPG podcast too, just to remind people.
Yep, it comes out every other Wednesday.
I can't really plug myself for anything because I was started playing Night in the Woods. You can watch some of that, but it's a longer game than Mom anticipated. Didn't anticipate the length, so.
Yeah, it's kind of long.
Also, you have to, because I'm playing on my channel, I have to say everything. And P.S., recording for more than an hour when you're saying everything and all the lines is kind of really hard. It makes your voice hurt and you get tired. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's the level of lazy. But yeah, you can watch that and like check out my channel and stuff. Oh, and we have a Patreon, which we don't have any donors, but that's okay. If we did have donors, this would be when we thank them. Thank you, Ghost Donor. You are the most
love you.
I love you so much, Ghost Donor. Your 0 ghost dollars are appreciated. But yeah, we have that too. You can find that probably in the description, or on the YouTube. Have I added that anywhere? Like, have I? I don't think so. That you know what? That might be the biggest problem in our donations is that I literally have never linked to it. Oh God, have we? This is a real question. Like, I forgot. Real talk here. It's not Becca's fault about the episodes because I forgot to make the last episode into a video for YouTube for like a month, maybe more. I'm not quite sure. So, you know, there's been problems. What is that? Oh yeah, I don't know if I've linked it anywhere, but you know, you can search it on Patreon. If I don't, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be in the description for the episode. And it's going to be on our YouTube main page as a link. It'll be like, you know. So anyway, you don't have to, but do I have a feature on there? I don't remember what I have on there, but yeah, we probably should add something about shout outs. But like, do you really want to hear us shout your name to 5 people? I don't know. Do you?
We can.
We can. Let's just say a random name. I'll just say some random ones. Milton, thank you for your support.
Gosh, Milton, I love you so much. Thank
Great.
you so much for
You're
those
great.
$2.
It means so
It's-
much.
I was able to buy a can of vegetarian beans, and I ate them yesterday, and they were so
You know
good.
what?
I
I
put
don't
pico de
think-
gallo in it.
You could not
It's
buy a
good.
can of beans for $2. I challenge you.
Yeah, you can.
Really? What size beans? What ounces are we talking here?
Like a can of beans, you can buy it for like 79 cents at Kroger.
What? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to be checking. I'm going to check bean prices in my area and report back on the status of the beans. I think that's it. I think it's it.
Yep.
I think we've done it all. Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed this one. And you can find us at Embrace Eternity on the Twitter. We have the handle still. That is still a handle. You can tweet at us. You know, I don't know, stuff. We have kind of given up on suggestions. Just tweet if you want to. You can follow us if you want to. You can subscribe if you want to. You can tell your friends if you want to. And you can dance if you want to.
You can leave your friends behind.
Okay. Yeah, and you can, Becca, tell them where you can find you on the internet.
Glitterfang.tumblr.com, and you can also buy a shepherd enamel pin from my Etsy store. I've only got like 24 gold ones
They're
left.
gone forever, guys. This is a limited time QVC deal. Actually, isn't QVC merging with HSN? I think that's happening.
I have no idea.
Which, thank God, because they were always the same. I'm just bringing this up, America, or global. We have listeners outside America, world, Earth. They're merging. I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but yeah,
it's relevant.
They're great. They're great pens. There's really no other lady shepherd pen or male shepherd pen, I don't think. And they're awesome. You should get one because then they're like gone forever. You know, there's not going to be any more. They're just gone. Yeah. So like, you know, you were holding back. Don't hold back. This is a limited time offer. There's only 20 something left, and then they're gone forever. Okay.
So glad you're my hype man.
I know.
My Etsy is Becca Bluebonnet, though. But yeah, that's where you can find me on the internet.
And I'm also at Elven Tempest for my personal stuff. And my YouTube channel is Elven Tempest. I have a really awesome new banner that I'm not putting
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Becca did the handwriting for it. It's lovely. It's really good. It has, you know, stuff from BioShock on it. So like it has everything. It has Liliana's flower. Like, I'm just saying, you should go look at it. You don't have to subscribe, but you go look at it and you see, because it's good. It's by Nastia, but her Tumblr is needlesslycryptic.tumblr.com. You should check out her art. I guess I'm plugging that too. She's good. She's real good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're gonna go now. Probably, you know, be back at some point. We'll leave the door open to more. As long as you keep, you keep looking through the crack of our podcast. Help me.
Okay, I love you guys. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Love you too. Bye.